Hey, this is Dana Reed, and my new song, Better Than Blue, is now available everywhere. This is On the Porch with Front Porch Music.
Who's the worst golfer?
Connor, because he doesn't even golf. Connor literally won't even golf. Connor was actually saying he did, Connor got whatever, I don't know which VR set it is, but he got one and he did a week of VR golf at his house and then thought that would translate into real golf. Tried to do it and it was not good. So Connor will literally just come out to the course and drink beer the whole time and doesn't even
So he'll just drive the cart.
Make him caddy.
Not even drive the cart. He'll literally just sit and drink.
Yeah, he can't drive the car. He's drunk.
He's fully the passenger princess. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Porch with Front Porch Music. I'm Logan, and this is Jenna. Hey, Jenna.
And this is the season 4 finale.
Can you believe it? It's been another full season. It's been such a big year for us. We had the usual, all the guests that we talked to, but we were also nominated for our first CCMA award, which was insane. Thanks everyone for listening this whole season. We really, really appreciate every single one of you, and we'll of course be back next season for some more interviews with Canada's top country artists. But let's get to today's episode with James Barker Band.
Not the band. We actually talked to James Barker himself. James Barker Band is currently on the Buckle Up tour, heading coast to coast in Canada with Bud Light, which is really cool. We got to hang out with James Barker himself, talk about writing, their brand new album which came out in September. We talked about a lot, actually. Believe it or not, this guy claims he never gets writer's block, so that's exciting for him. If you're an artist listening and you are rolling your eyes, it's okay. We all get there sometimes. So this was really fun to sit down with James, kind of start at the beginning of the band and how they kind of came together, the bars they played right up till now, and their first headlining tour in years. So we hope you enjoy our final episode of season 4 of On the Porch with Front Porch Music.
Season 4! Coming to an end.
See you next year.
See you next year. Here's our chat with James Barker. For the last time, Jenna, this season. Da 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 da.
Welcome to On the Porch with Front Porch Music, James Barker. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I have no complaints. I'm in sunny Kelowna. It's hot as hell here already, which is so nice. So when you're coming out, look forward to that because it's not.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was going to be hot, but I guess it's always kind of hot out there. It's California weather. So I
didn't expect it to be this hot either. When I looked at the weather, I was like, oh, sweet. It's also a little bit. It's pretty cloudy out there. The wildfire situation. So.
Hot and smoky.
Way to start off this conversation on the bright side.
Yeah, exactly. Started off here, and there's only up to go.
Yeah, that's how we like to do it. Set the bar low. Anyways, now that my weather report's done, lots to chat about. We've never had yourself, James Barker, or the band on the porch before, and this is literally the end of season 4. So that's crazy. Probably criminal if you ask me, but I think we need to start. The band has been around for over a decade, so crazy way to start it off, but can we get your 10-year reintroduction of James Barker Band?
Oh, wow. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, first off, it's crazy that we've been doing this for 10 years and that we haven't killed each other yet.
How close have you gotten?
What's that? We've been close a few times, so very concerningly close. But no, yeah, we all met. Connor and I have been playing together since we were 15, 16. We met at band camp, and Taylor was running a recording studio, and after we graduated high school. We didn't drop out, came close, but once we graduated, stole Taylor away from a recording studio where he was making way more money than we were offering him, and for some reason he left and stole Bobby away from another band, and poof, we were born. And now we've released some albums and done some stuff, and we're back.
Did you guys gel right away?
Yeah, honestly, in all seriousness, we were all kind of playing with different bands and doing different stuff at the time, and we as soon as we started playing together, we were like, oh man, first off, we had so much fun, you know what I mean? We were hanging, and instantly there was a synergy there, friendship, And then also we were all very much into like the same type of music and loved playing. And by same type, I mean like all kinds. Like we were playing like, FGL and like friggin' Zach Brown Band, but also doing like Rage Against the Machine and Red Hot Chili Peppers and like doing like some wild stuff because we started just like as a cover band, and we just vibed instantly.
When you guys were playing as a cover band, who was the first one to be like, we should write our own music?
Well, we were already doing that. Like I started writing songs when I was like 12. Like it was always kind of something that I was doing, and we would mix in, we were all writing as a band, and we would mix in those songs because we're playing, you're playing like 4-hour cover gigs. And so you're like, maybe we can mix in 1 or 2 originals in here. And so we were doing that where you can get away with it. And for the most part, didn't get in trouble for it. You knew you had to have like bangers though. You weren't going to write your emotional one and play it at a bar. But we were doing that, pretty early on when we could get away with it.
That makes sense. What was the like local spot where you guys were like always playing?
I would say like we didn't have a residency there, but it was definitely our home base. There was this bar in Oshawa, Ontario called the Corral, which was like because they would book you for, when you're doing those like cover gigs, you're like trying to make as much money because you're just trying to pay your rent and stuff. And they would book you for Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, which sounds crazy, but Tuesday night was ladies' night because it was like college town. Yeah. And so Tuesday night was always wild. Friday night was always dead, and Saturday night was always wild. And so we would play there like once or twice a month and then be kind of driving all over, playing everywhere else. But the Corral was where we cut our teeth.
Crazy to think that, because you're about to head on a pretty big tour, and just like reminder of the humble beginnings. Those are like, that's so crazy, eh?
It's crazy, but it's also crazy because like there's those bars that like a lot of Canadian country people came up in, like similar bars. Like Tim Hicks he used to come and play that bar before he broke, and I'm trying to think of other, like there's everybody it's crazy how many people.
That bar has come up a number of times on this podcast.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a few of those ones where like everybody kind of played them as they were coming up.
It's like the institutions. There's like the circuit, and everybody's got to make those rounds, or else what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to like go and like pay your dues at those places.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, who is more forgiving than like the wasted college crowd? You could actually like figure
Honestly,
it out some nights. No?
We have said that before, like about, because we like to think, like we call it like you can make mistakes in small, make your mistakes small. Whereas like if you're like nowadays, if you're an artist who blows up on TikTok and have never really played a lot of shows, you're going to be making a mistake in front of thousands of people, as opposed to us who made our mistakes in front of like 100 people who probably don't even remember anything the next day. And so you learn on a small stage. You don't learn on a big stage.
No,
and you see that at like some of these award shows that were some of the artists that are like brand new, and it's like they blew up and not so good all the time.
Yeah. And then the mistakes are like forever, like, solidified
on the internet.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's like it's crazy because we're also kind of getting back to that again too. Like, yeah, we have those artists who are blowing up, but if you look at the circuit right now in Canada, there are tons of artists making the rounds, and that's how they're like coming up still. So it's not something that's going to go away no matter what like social media is doing and all that, No,
and I feel like more now than ever, like people are craving like that realness and like live aspect that like for a little while seemed like it went away. But now people like live music is like better than it's ever been. Like everybody wants to see stuff live. They want to see the real thing in the flesh. So I think it's cool that way.
It's funny because I was watching the VMAs last night, my friend and I, and we're sitting here like, it is 100% pre-recorded. Like there is no... And we were just watching it. And we're like, there are people who are eating this up, and maybe they're not, but they don't even try to make it look like you're singing anymore. It's just like so far gone. Yeah,
and I feel like that's like kind of like, I didn't watch last night. I guess I should have, but it is like I feel like people are too smart for that now, and it's like if people want real. That's the good thing about country is like it's always kind of been built around like the realness of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no like the country audience for sure can smell out the bullshit pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like people are like, that's lame. We don't want the fake stuff. We want the real thing. We want to know someone is like had a couple beers and might say something offside.
And that's the funny thing about the country crowd too, eh? Like if you're not doing it live, they're coming for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, it's pretty ruthless.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys, like we touched on it a bit, have been together for quite some time. how do you guys succeed as a band after all this time? Like are there like things that you guys do to make sure that we always have to do this together, or we always have to make sure we're hitting this and this for us to
Yeah, I
be able to
mean,
succeed as a band?
yeah, bands are like their own unique set of challenges. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to. It's like you have to treat it like a brotherhood. I feel like the one thing we've learned is that you just need to be brutally honest with each other. You don't sweep things under the rug. If somebody's done something that annoys you, you just have to call them out on it. You know what I mean? And if that means you have to have like a bit of a disagreement, you have a disagreement. But I feel like, it's the same as any relationship. It doesn't matter if it's like a spouse or whatever, like a sibling. It's like you got to call people on their BS. And if you're doing something that's BS, expect to get called on it. And that's the best way to get over it. Because if you let it fester, it's going to turn into a way bigger blow up.
I feel like you guys have actually beat the odds for bands staying together. Because I Googled it and it told me like there's no real average. And then it listed a whole bunch of iconic bands that split up before they were like 7 years into the game together. So like, you beat the odds.
Yeah, 10 years I feel like is like, that's where I'm like, I feel like most bands don't make it 10 years. 10 years feels like it's already a success. And it seems like the ones who do end up being like the Stones, you know what I mean? That are then together forever. Because so much happens in that first 10 years where you go from being a nothing to like actually having a name for you. It's like making that transition from a nobody to like actually like a professional musician.
Exactly. On the like you guys are brutally honest with each other thing, I feel like I saw a video or two of you, the band, doing a TikTok trend where it was like saying things about each other that was like, but the trend was like a little lighter, and then you guys went and did it and it was like fucking cutthroat.
We went, yeah, it was the we listen and we
Yeah.
don't. And then it was like that was funny because we did like a bunch of different, like we just kept rolling the camera, right? And like it started pretty light and pretty soft, and then all it takes is one person getting a little ruthless, and then the next person's like, oh, we're going there, and like it gets deeper and deeper and deeper to the point where we did like a couple, and we're like, maybe we should dial this back a little bit and take a break from it because there's always another level of intensity you can go.
But I mean, like you
don't want to hurt feelings at the end of the day.
Yeah, but that being said, it makes for good content. Like we've said that. It's like, I mean, sure, we're going to have to deal with the fallout of it, but sometimes it's just funny to say the first thing comes to your mind, no matter how bad it is.
I think my jaw was like, oh.
Anything for good content. That's what I say.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. Anything for good content.
That's so funny. But I mean, you've been together this long, and if you're going to be brutally honest, you might as well show everybody else. That's how like real we are with each other.
That's exactly it. Like if it's going to be said, if it has a chance to be said, something ruthless has been said. We used to have like a few categories of like off limits. We used to say like not allowed to chirp each other's girlfriends or wives or whatever, and not allowed to chirp tattoos. And the tattoo one went out the window so long ago. Like that is like ridiculous. Now everybody just like is like constantly making fun of each other's tattoos. But the significant others is like still okay. Leave that as the one thing that is off limits. So
is there, like,
I feel like that's probably fair.
Yes. I feel like somebody's significant other though can roll with the whole team and be like, I'll give it to you as bad as you guys are gonna give it to me anyways.
Oh, absolutely. All of our like wives and girlfriends are like that, where they're like more likely to give it to a band member. And it sucks. It's funny because the band members know that they can't say anything or do anything about it. They just have to take it.
They just have to take it. That's so funny. You know what? Your partners have all dealt with you this long anyways. They deserve to dig in once in a while too.
That's exactly it. And they've all seen like the worst sides of each of us. So they know what it's like.
Exactly. I want to touch a little bit. You're Nashville based, right? I don't think everybody's a little bit spread out. So how are you guys like, other than like the forced, we have to record, we're touring, we're recording X, Y, Z. Like, how are you guys like staying connected as homies while you're not exactly like in the same space?
I mean, there's like a million group chats, and we have our our JBB group chat that we're constantly like either doing business or just sending bad memes in. But also like we do see each other like so much because of business stuff that like if we're all in Nashville doing something, if the other guys are down, we like make sure we go for like dinners or go hang. And like even if we're playing a festival, go, if you get there the night before, go see the headliner, or if there's someone on after us or before that we want to see, go and see them. And like it is important to have those like non-business moments, you know what I mean, to like step aside and just like have fun and be buddies. So because if it's all like intense all the time, like it's easy to lose the enjoyment. And we actually learned that early on. Like sometimes you just need to take a second to step aside and like have a good time and like go do an escape room or something when you're on tour, like, you know what I mean, or golf or whatever. So
You write a lot too. Do you guys all write a lot together? I know you write for a lot of other people as well. You're on the publishing side fully as well. So like what's the dynamic with the boys when you guys are writing together, writing separately?
yeah, we all do both. I mean, like
Yeah.
I definitely like write a lot. That's even before we were in the band, that was kind of what I like to do, my main thing that I like to do. But we all like, we'll write together. We'll write in different combinations of like 2 or 3 of us, and then all of us write with other people as well, which is very Nashville way to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's nice that that's just like something people don't even stress about. You don't have to get like weird about it. That like, oh, you not everybody has to write with everybody all the time. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of nice. And you never know, like best song wins, right? Like if
I was
somebody
just gonna ask, is it best song wins in the camp no matter what?
yeah, I mean, that's the way it's got to be. And I guess I say best song, but like most JBB song, you know what I mean? Because sometimes like we'll have it where we write a song that we think is really awesome, but maybe it's too emotional for what we want to do, or not the right vibe. And so it's like whatever song makes the most sense for whatever the next project is, album or whatever, that's what we go with. We're like pretty, try not to let those get in the room for that.
Yeah. I was going to ask like what's the approach when you're entering a write for a JBB song versus writing for someone else? Or is it very much like, I'm going to write a song and then once it's written, we'll see where it fits?
Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of that second one that goes on, but I would say like the longer I've been doing this, the more that I'm just like, I just want to write our stuff. Like, because I do, like, because the publishing deals and that kind of stuff, I'll be put in rooms with artists and I'm like, okay, today I'm like a top liner or sometimes even like track or whatever. And I'm trying to lean into what they're doing. But if I'm going into a room where I know like it's been set aside that it's like a room to write a James Barker band song, it's just a bit like, to me, it's about like, it's actually never, very rarely is it like a sonic thing, because I think that we try to push the boundaries in every direction. It's more about just like the concept lyrically, like does it feel like something that I would honestly say, like from my perspective as like the protagonist in the song, I guess you could say. Whereas like I might be on a day where I'm just writing, I might be writing with a female and it's from a different perspective, and she might be from a different part of the world. Maybe she's not from a small town, or maybe she's, you know what I mean? Different thing, and might be saying things that I wouldn't necessarily say, but can help guide another artist into saying what they want to articulate.
Yeah. Have you found yourself ever stuck as a writer? Because this is like, you're very much me viewing James Barker Band as a band, and then James Barker as a human is like, you're a writer. You write lots of songs that we're like, wow, these are bangers, and they're not JBB. So like, you can't always be like a creative well, are you?
I feel like actually, no, I don't think I've like writer's block. I've never had writer's block, if that's what you mean. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, like this, maybe some people will look at this and be like, that's not true. But I think that writer's block in a lot of ways does not exist. And I think the way to overcome it is to keep doing it. I think that writers, you just have to sit down and keep doing it. And there will be days where it's harder. There's no doubt. But I do feel like when there's days when it's harder, you get better on those days, probably more than the days when it's easy. You know what I mean? Because you force yourself to do it. You make yourself go back to the well and keep doing that thing. And also, like, I think it might have been like a Jerry Seinfeld quote or something. But it was like, you need to be thinking about it all the time. You can't take days off from it and like let that thing become a passive background thing. You have to have like the radar up for ideas and radar up for writing. And that way it's always churning in your mind, like, which will sound crazy, but like when I'm writing, when we're not touring, even when we're touring, I'm trying to like come up with ideas and develop stuff. But like if I'm in Nashville in full writing mode, if I write 5 days a week, by Friday, a lot of people are gassed at the end of the week. By Friday, I'm like, I don't want to stop. I'm like, I'm dialed now. And then take 2 days off. And Monday, I'm like, what was I doing a little bit? Takes me a minute. It's probably till Tuesday I get the song. And so like, if I'm in Nashville, I'm like, I would love to write 2 times a day, every day, 365. I feel like if I did that, I wouldn't be burnt out. I'd be like flying, because you just get so much more dialed in on it. But also, like, I feel like that might be a part of my like ADHD personality where it's just go, 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 go. So
yeah, I could see Jenna's face being like, oh God. And I was like, that makes sense. Because, you know, of the two of us, I definitely have the ADHD.
Yeah, you're like, go, 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 do not stop. On to the next thing. Finish, complete, on to the next, on to the next. So
healthy.
I was going to say, for any other aspect of your life, but I feel like for like the creative stuff, it's kind of sometimes a helpful thing.
I think you also trust yourself enough to be able to get through like when it's not so easy, and the product might feel a little more rewarding when you've had to work
Yeah.
hard for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then like, yeah, it's just good to be like, I love being in really ingrained in stuff when we do it. You know what I mean? And I feel like when it's writing, which is my favorite thing, I just like to like be all in all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should talk about the new album, because it's been a minute since you put out an album as a band, and you've had some EPs going, but when I read the press release and it said sophomore album, I was like, what? Because
Yeah, I
that just
know.
seems crazy, but it is your sophomore album.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like it's just the music industry has changed so much in the last couple of years.
Singles,
You know,
singles, singles, right?
yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden, when you see people like Morgan dropping, you know, like massive, massive albums, 37 songs and stuff,
Too long, to be honest.
right? Well, it is crazy, like because Dangerous came out and it was whatever, like 20 something, and then
The
they keep
double album entirely? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and but it's like we're back in an era where it's okay to do albums, and I absolutely think it's amazing. Like it's funny because I never really bought into the like romanticism people had to like albums and records. I was like, whatever, that's just like old people worrying about old people things. But now having like done it, I'm like, I actually really have gained a new respect and love for getting to do a bunch of songs all at once, because I think it changes how you select the songs. Like that obviously like feels obvious on its surface because you want it to not all be the same song. You want to have those songs be different from one another. But I also feel like because of that, you start analyzing the songs differently and be like, well, this one is making me feel this way, and I didn't realize that it was until I compared it to this other song, which is making me feel the other way. And so actually like picking, because it's not like we necessarily wrote for an album, like we're always writing. So it's more like narrowing down the songs you have. And then at the end of it, like within a couple of weeks of like the album being done, I was like, I really want to write this type of song and this type of song to fill these two different gaps.
That feels like it must be exhausting or like really overwhelming to sift through all your songs to figure out how to build the album. Or
it's funny. There's a lot of things that we do that I feel like are exhausting and overwhelming. Like talking about like album artwork and stuff would do that to me. But picking out songs fires me up so much, and like writing stuff for the project fires me up so much that it is like an endless tank of energy. Like probably to the annoyance of the rest of the guys, where I would go back and forth and talk about it not like 24 hours a day. So
how do you narrow it down to like the 12 or 13 or 14 songs, or like however big you want an album to be? Like
literally because we started with over like 150 and we just went back and forth like with we jumped on like, you know, first Zoom call with like our whole like, you know, A&R team from our label and our management and the band, and like we're like, okay, let's narrow it down, and just kept going through them and narrowing it down, and like you'd kind of lock in one and be like, okay, these other ones are up in the air, lock in a few more, these ones are up in the air. And eventually we just had to make the call, bring it down and be like, okay, we got to vote on what the last 2-3 songs are going to be, and voted and lock it in.
And then you locked it all in, and then you were so energized, you're like, I think we should start over and try again and see if we get the same result.
Honestly, like, there was like a moment where like MJ, our A&R, had to be like, we got to lock it in because we're going to miss the deadline. And so we had to just do it. And then I do feel like, because the album came out on Friday, and I had a moment on Friday night where I was like, what are we going to do next? And I was like, no, focus on the one. Focus on the one for now. But you have to like kind of keep going for the next thing too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I think it's different when you're putting out single by single, because you're like, you are pretty much 2 or 3 singles ahead of your own releases. You're like, everybody's getting this one for the first time, but you're like, imagine, you can't wait till this time next year when we're putting out this song that we're excited about right now. When it comes to an album, and most of it people are hearing for the first time, you actually do have to sit in it for a while, and you can't just be on to the next thing entirely, you know?
Yeah, it's so hard because you have to keep that level of like excitement about all of the songs on the record up, but also like kind of start writing for the next one, because eventually the deadline, you know, will be here where you need to have more songs to record. And that part isn't hard. I don't find the writing and getting that stuff ready is hard. It's just making sure that you don't forget that even though these songs might not be new to us, they're new to other people. Exactly. And we don't even know how they're going to react to them yet.
Exactly. So what we're saying is you did narrow down 150 to 12, so your next album is probably going to be a double album too, right? Might as well.
I could see it, but also I'm very much in the camp in everything where like you can always condense things down, boil them down, reduce to less. Like we do that with our songwriting, like exhaustively. Or like how can you remove one word from this so it says more, less words, right? Like I feel like in the TikTok era, you see that so much. Like you guys would see that. How can you take a video and clip 1 second off of it in every clip, and next thing you know, you've got a video that is more dense in 45 seconds than it would have been in 5 minutes. And you know what I mean? It's like
you just explained the last 5 days of us editing another podcast.
Right? It is like exhaustive, but it's crazy when you start doing that, how much better it
Yeah, I was gonna say that's easy. You just take what Jenna said and just cut off a couple seconds and it's fine.
Right. It's so hard because you're like, this moment is amazing. This moment needs to be in there. And this moment is also amazing. It's like, but there's like 50 amazing moments. How are we going to fit that? And it's like, you got to start like that's the hardest part. And it'd be the same with like you guys editing, and it's the same with an album. It's like, but this song's really amazing, but it's not as amazing, or maybe it's not the right amazing thing that matches the project.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like there's something we always like reference when we're writing, and it's like that might be an amazing line, but if it's not the right line for a song, it doesn't belong. Like you don't write. It's not about what's the best line; it's what's the best line for the song. It's hard to do that. It's like like kicking your kids out of the nest or something because they're not, I don't even know an analogy. It's just hard to do that.
100%. I think some lines are cool and need to be put on like live, laugh, love signs in the house. If it doesn't,
true. That's where they can live. Laugh, love.
Yeah. I was gonna say on the condensing and eliminating words thing, it's funny you say that because there is so much music where it feels like they're trying to fit as many words into it as possible that you're like, I literally don't get the point anymore. Like you've lost me.
Yeah, you lost the plot. That's exactly it. I remember hearing a quote once, which is like, amazing art isn't adding things until it's perfect. It's taking things away until it's perfect. And I was like, oh man, like think of some of the biggest songs. Yeah, true. And it was Maury who said that.
Yeah.
Like some of the best songs ever are like the most simplistic songs that say like, the same thing the whole time, but somehow it's amazing.
Literally. I'm trying to think. I was listening. So I am a SiriusXM subscriber, and I know that's like people mostly don't do that, but the Prime Country channel is insane. It's like Sammy Kershaw and the Oak Ridge Boys, and I'm like, they literally repeated the same verse, chorus, new verse, chorus, old verse, done, and that locked you in. And the chorus was also the same 2 lines twice. And
was
that
it
was
Elvira?
That's a banger. Like
it's a huge song, man. When that guy goes to like the extra, because that guy's voice is low, and then he goes even lower that one time. You're like, oh, damn, that's crazy.
Isn't that? But so listening to that and then flipping over to the highway or something, you're like, what's crazy is those songs are actually timeless.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these songs are going to live for a minute, but they're going to be forgotten. And it's just like the simplicity of music made sense for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, you should be able to strip that stuff away. And it's funny because timeless is the word we always reference. It's like, how do you make your stuff feel timeless? If somebody puts this on in 20 years, is it going to feel dated or is it going to feel new still?
Exactly.
And trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so interesting how like you have to see it too as a person who's writing so frequently throughout the year and going in the seasons of writing and then recording and whatnot, but the different types of rooms you're getting into where people are probably like spilling words and you're like, are you ever just like, okay, I can go with this, or are you always like, no, we got to make this better?
No, I feel like I've changed. Maybe earlier on when I was writing, I would do that, and I would just like in my head be like, well, we'll finish this and I know we're not going to cut it, and so I'm just writing this day off as a wasted day. But I feel like now I'm just like, if I will just like be that stick in the mud. He's like, no, it's too much, or that's not right. And just like fight the fight. And like, usually you don't have to, it's not like you actually have to get aggressive in the room with most people, but like, I've always like, I've rationalized it in my own mind where if like I get in a disagreement with someone in the room to the point where they're going to be annoyed to the point where they don't want to write with me again, then we weren't the right team anyway.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's actually a blessing. So
Yeah. The other thing about that though is the worst case is you don't say something, you hate something about a song, and then somebody cuts it and your name is in the credits and you're like, ugh.
things get away from you in this industry faster than you think. And once a train starts to move, it is nearly impossible to stop. And like, you just have to nip things in the bud. We've learned that. We've learned that, like, if you're like, oh, whatever, it's fine, but we'll catch it on the back end. Once it's out there, it's too late. And people get like demo-itis on stuff, which is something I'm super like aware of. Like, I don't like sending stuff to people until I know it's done. And like, if I'm writing with a new artist, I'm like, do not send it to A&R yet. Do not send it, because it needs work, and they're going to hear it and they're going to fall in love with it. And if we change it a little bit, they're going to be like, I liked it the old way. And it's like, that's just because that was the first impression it had. You know what I mean? It's such a like weird, like, you know, abstract thing, but you only get one first listen, and you got to make sure it's right.
Exactly. Before we talk tour, you as a writer, what are some like, because that's like a huge thing what you just said there. You as a writer who's, I'm gonna call you seasoned instead of.
I like seasoned, like a good steak.
Yeah, just like, you know, with the salt. There you go.
Okay, as a well-seasoned writer, what are your like lessons that you've learned? A couple of things that you're like, young writers, don't let this happen, or I learned this the hard way.
Throw out anything in the room. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to throw out something that you think might be crazy. You know what I mean? And learn to like dial in your instincts. So much of writing is about like just what feels good. And so easy to like get away from that and start getting like hyper technical about it, which I also don't think is a bad thing. But don't let like technical stuff drive your writing. Let feel drive your writing, and then use the technical stuff to your advantage if you understand like the musical side of it. But yeah, and then also it's always about the 10,000 feet picture. You know what I mean? Don't try and get too clever with stuff. Zoom out on it and be like, what is actually the vibe and the essence of this song? And if you can like make sure that it fits into like whatever that is and it's easy to explain, then it'll be good.
When was the last time JBB was on tour? Like a good.
Yeah, you guys have a big one coming up.
Tour.
Yeah. So the last time we went on like a tour, but like we opened up for Dallas in 2000, Dallas Smith.
Yeah.
In 2022. So that was like a proper, you know, full country tour. And then the last time we did though, like a headline JBB tour was 2018, which is crazy.
Wow.
Like COVID.
Pre-pandemic. Holy.
Yeah. So we're pretty jazzed to be back there. We did have a tour planned for 2020 and things happened.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember why we canceled it.
No, me neither.
I want to remind you guys, you are at least 5 years older now. So the tour and the vibe you thought you were going to have, you're going to need a little more sleep than you may have 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. We gotta make sure we take our vitamins now. So I will say though, I feel like this is going to sound so counterintuitive. The healthiest we ever are is on tour, which does not sound like it's the truth, but it's because it's like the most like regimented we are, because sound check is always the same time every day, and like bedtime is always the bedtime. Book nap time is always the same time every day. And so like you can wake up and get in a real routine. And as long as you like get in a good routine early on, it'll carry through the tour. Like wake up at whatever time and then go to the gym, eat a proper breakfast. If you make sure you like plan out where you're going to eat and do all of that. And we all actually usually get in a better rhythm on tour. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
What does prep time look like for you guys when it comes to touring, like the rehearsals and just planning out what it's going to look like? What's that process for you guys? Yeah,
like we try to start like really early. Like we started obviously months ago, literally just with like a Zoom call because there was so much like with the album coming out leading up to this, there was a lot of unknowns, but just figuring out, okay, what old JBB songs, you know, other songs that aren't off the new record are we going to play? Which ones do you need to make sure are still in the set? And then, you know, just a Zoom call of that. And then once the album, we knew it was locked in there, like another long full day Zoom call being like, which ones off the record need to be in there? And then how do we want these moments? And then I'll take it away and like build out some moments, bring it back. Like, what's everyone thinking about this? Let's have some new ideas, kick them around. And then once you've done like 3 or 4 of those calls, then like we book a rehearsal space for like a week straight every single day and go in and like basically like, you know, make the thing, build it up. And then once you get that locked in, take a break from it and then book like the week leading up to the tour to actually go in, and you're not like rebuilding anything. Then you're just honing it in, rehearsing it, getting it dialed in, making sure everybody's comfortable so that your first show does, you know, the worst thing you can have is if your third show feels like when you get comfortable. You want that first show to already be locked in. And especially like now with this tour, like headline tour, like there's so many other aspects. Like because you have extended crew, right? Like you've got your guy who's building it, the lighting show, and the guy who's doing the front house, and you've got to make sure like, okay, they've got all their cues in there, and if you want to spotlight at this part, or you want like crazy EDM light show at the end of something, you've got that stuff all dialed in, and he knows where you're going to be on stage. And so it is like a pretty intense thing, just keeping track of it and making sure like everybody's on the same page about stuff.
Have you had like the aha moment of being like, yeah, this is going to be sick yet? Or do you think that happens first show?
I feel like there's a few of those, because like for us, it's very much about like specific moments you build. You don't necessarily just build a set list based on the songs. You like are like, what is the moment? What's the like bit here that we're trying to achieve? And there's a few of them that I'm like really excited about. And I mean, you have to have a certain level of like blind confidence, because if you don't have the confidence, you won't execute it properly, and then it won't land. And so there's a few of those, but it definitely takes that first show to then like reaffirm that it goes the way you anticipate it's going to go. And you do have to retool. Like first couple shows, you'll undoubtedly change a few things because they didn't go the way you thought they would, or you can improve them.
Exactly. And that basically kicks off as soon as we're done with CCMA week, I think, right?
Yeah, like we go straight from CCMAs. We fly out to the East Coast for rehearsals and then get right into it because we do St. John, Halifax, and Montreal. It's weird because we have those 3 shows and then we have like a month off. We got 1 show in Nashville, and then we jump back and do like the actual like rest of the like 25 dates or whatever.
That gives you a good first few shows. Like, all right, regroup, reassess.
Honestly, it's actually like really a blessing doing it that way, because you can take if there's any like real overhaul that needs to happen, you have 3 shows to like do it and then have time off to go and overhaul it. And it should be pretty dialed in by those. But it does give you a chance to like zoom out on
Exactly. Okay, we're coming close to the end. Before we do a little thing we call the vibe check, which we didn't give you prep in advance for, so you're going in blind to that. I want you to pick your 3 favorite children, and that is your 3 favorite songs off the album, that if people haven't gone and listened to it and don't plan to listen top to bottom, what 3 songs should they go to?
Oh man, that's so hard.
Rude. I know.
Yeah, that's mean.
I feel like One of Us, because that song is just so good and so special. And then, shoot, that's so hard because I'm like, what's the criteria of them? I feel like Love on You, because it's like a really like cool vibe. Different. It's like almost like 50s-esque vibe to that song, which I think is like really, really sick, but still like sounds like a drunk small town dude, which is what I love. And then probably, I mean, people will have already heard Somebody I Know because it's been out. So
it's pretty sick song though. Like I
was gonna say, I guess I'm making it something like, okay, well that one's already been out. No, I would pick that one because I feel like it really like encapsulates the vibe of like it sounds like a band, that song, more than a lot of the other songs, where it's like very much on the like bass, drums, guitar, singing kind of thing.
Yeah. It's also like so core JBB, but not like 2018. It's 2025, which is sick.
That's exactly it. It's like a new version, like a more evolved version.
Yeah, the boys are grown up. The boys are grown up. Okay. I already mentioned.
Do you want to explain the vibe check?
This is the vibe check. We started doing this randomly sometime in this season. We've never done it before this, but when artists have so much of a catalog out, it's kind of fun to force them back into the moments when they were writing songs or releasing those songs from forever ago. So we're going to go all the way back. And to me, for JBB, all the way back is like seeing you guys at Boots and Hearts singing Livin' the Dream when you won the Emerging Artist Showcase, which is the only time I went to that festival as a patron, mind you.
Wow.
But tell us about where y'all were at when you wrote something so hilarious like Livin' the Dream.
Man, that song is like, there's lessons that we learned from writing that song, because I still have the voice memo in my phone, because I like, before we broke, we were playing in the band, but I was like farming, working for like, because I'm a farmer and I worked for a couple different farmers, and so I was literally, it was like a Friday, and I was I think it was in like, we maybe just had finished like planting or something, like, so it was like a day where I was like, finally, I'm not working 90 hours a week. And I remember I was driving to like the beer store, and in my like piece of shit truck, and I was just like, I literally just like had this idea. I was like, I drink beer and I smoke pot, and I like did blah 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 blah, and then I like recorded it into my phone, that like, just that I drink beer and I smoke pot and I've thrown punches in a parking lot, and that was it. And we got together like that weekend, because we were just starting, we were still a cover band, and I was like, I have this song about drinking beer and smoking pot, and we literally like wrote the whole damn thing as these dudes who were literally doing nothing but drinking beer, smoking pot, and fighting people in parking lots. So true, all of that stuff. And it was just like, we just did a thing that felt like almost like nursery book rhymey, so simple melodically.
Truly.
And every line was just so true. And that was just us. It was like weirdly our anthem. And we always said, we're just, oh, living the dream. Someone would ask us, and we would ironically say, as dudes who like were like just busting nonstop, would just be like, oh, living the dream. You know what I mean? It was like a joke. And so it's crazy to look back and see how that song has carried.
Playing it now, are you like, we were living the dream though?
We were, and I still love it, because it's just so like, it's so who we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's literally, that's what we were doing. And like, the idea that we actually put that on a record is unbelievable, because it is such a like ridiculous song, but it is also like so true. And like, when you're like hanging at a house party drinking it, that's the kind of stuff you want to do. It was like Stronger Beer, the Tim Hicks song, to us. You know what I mean? It's just like, hell yeah.
Exactly. Okay, Logan?
From that same album in the same kind of era, I want to hear what you have to say about Lawn Chair Lazy, because that song still lives on my playlist.
That was another one where, and I always love, like, people would be like, when are country artists going to stop singing songs about drinking beer and trucks? And I remember like hearing that in an interview and being like, guess what? When we stop drinking beer and driving trucks, so never. And we were
Hand
writing
me a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like that song, when we were writing, it was me and Travis Wood and Gavin Slate. All of those guys have number ones now in America with like big American artists, Morgan Wall and stuff like that. But we were just in a basement in like Toronto, and we had kind of written this whole chorus but didn't have the title. And we're getting to the end of the chorus, and because it goes ear, 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 like, although the rhyme scheme is set up like that, we're like, well, we surely can't end the chorus on somebody hand me a beer, beer, beer. It is so ridiculous. And we were trying to do like the Dierks Bentley type of like vibe on that, like chill dude vibe. And we're like, I mean, why can't we? Why can't we just say that? And the song actually was called Beer, Beer, Beer. Like the demo I have is called Beer, 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 not Lawn Chair Lazy. And it was actually like when we pitched it to the label, we weren't even signed yet. We just had like the one single deal because we won the Boots thing. And they were like, we really love this song. This song's amazing, but we really think you can't call it Beer, 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 because it makes it sound like it's some sort of a college song or like something. And we're like, no, it's got to be called that. And looking back, I am so glad that we changed the title. Because if you like read Beer, 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 you think it was like beer, beer, like beer or something like that. And but that was like our vibe. Like I'm just a beer drinking guy. We all kind of just beer drinking guys. So it's very fitting that was the first song.
It's so fun.
And it's so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit to All Over Again, which that is literally 4 years later.
Yeah, which is crazy because that feels like such a light years different era for us than Lawn Chair did. But that one, weirdly, that one. Do you guys know that Ronnie Millsap song, "Smoky Mountain Rain"?
Yes.
Yes. So I was listening. I love that song. I've always loved that song. And I was listening to that song one night, and I was like, "This chord. There's something about the chords in this song that like are making me like feel something like emotional." And I was like, "I love this vibe so much," and I've always loved that song. And I was like, "I want to do something that has that emotion, but is a little more like young and youthful and like heartbreaky." You know what I mean? And I had this idea all over again that I had like in my phone, and I tried a bunch of different variations of it, but I was just like, we want something that rocks and slams but still feels like sad and emotional but not too sad. And that's where that came from. And like that was one of the ones where like as soon as I sent it to the guys, we're like, this one's going to be amazing live. And I will say that's my favorite song to play live still, without a doubt.
Really? And
Yeah.
you had to balance that with being like the chill cool guys who were singing beer, beer, beer. And
Yeah.
I drink beer and smoke pot in a parking lot, and you had to be like, we have to make this, and it still had to be cool, you know?
That's exactly it. And it's funny, like it seems like that would be almost impossible to do. But the way I look at it, like being a dude from just like a small town guy, is I'm like, we in small towns go through good times and bad times. And I just want to be like the version of the guy in the song is just like the guy I am in this. When I was at a heartbreak, that was me in the song. You know what I mean? Like that's a true story. It's like the guy you're never really that sad. You know what I mean? Like our version of a heartbreak is sad, but you're still going to go have a beer with your guys, and you know you shouldn't go to the place where your ex is going to be, but you go there, and maybe the next day you get launch, you're lazy. You know what I mean? It's like it's all about like the perspective of the dude. You know, if I wasn't doing this, I would be saying those things still.
And also a reminder that the dude who's cool can also have feelings, you know?
Yes, exactly. Just only to a point, though. We don't want to get too emotional.
No.
All right, the next song, which I think has probably the best cover art of any song, period, is "Waste and Whiskey."
Waste and
Just
Whiskey is
the dog sitting in the fire, where everything's fine.
It's so funny. That one we look back at and we're like 50-50 on if the cover art for that was a brilliant idea or the dumbest thing we've ever done. But that song specifically, which was kind of like a similar era to the Waste and Whiskey one, was like, how do you lean into that, you know, small town heartbreak thing, but we wanted something that was a little bit heavier, you know what I mean? And like on the record it hits heavy, and then we do it live, it's extra heavy. And it's just like, I love songs that you feel like the guy in the song's going crazy, like that he's losing his mind. And that second verse in that song specifically, I was like, how do we turn up the crazy on this guy? Like the song Redneck Crazy might be one of my favorite all-time songs.
Wow.
Because I'm like, the dude's losing his mind, dude. He's psychotic. And I was like, I want, like the second verse is like, I'm going to take her stuff out and burn it in the yard because I can't get over her. Do you know what I mean? It was like that song to me was like, because that's how it feels like when you go through a breakup. You're like, I need to do something different here because nothing is working. And we fully leaned into it on that one.
Truly, because I could not relate less. One, as a woman, two, who doesn't get that feeling, and was like, this song is fucking insane. I love it. Like, I am this dude in this moment.
Right? Like everybody is saying until you go through a bad breakup, and then you go fucking crazy. You go,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you have those moments, and I feel like that's how you know it's real. And it doesn't matter where you're from, what your background is. You can be the most chill, unassuming person, but somebody wrecks your heart really bad, you go crazy.
Exactly. Okay, I want to end the vibe check with One of Us. Knowing you've already mentioned that's a special one to you, the first time I heard it was not James Barker Band, and I was obsessed with it then and was like, why did this song not blow up? What the fuck? So I'm glad that you also cut it. So
that song, us not recording that song, and Matt, and we love Matt, and Matt is an amazing, like the funniest most awesome, talented dude in the world, and also like very tall and attractive. But that's not here or there. But that song, as soon as like I wrote that song and sent it to the guys, we were like almost like blown away by it, which sounds weird because obviously I was there. I wrote it, and it was my idea and all of that. But then the perspective on that song and listening back to it, we knew it was good that day. And looking back on it, it's almost one of those things where it's like, how did that even happen? It's better than we expected it to be and tried to make it. And through like some weird industry, like kind of label stuff with who we were working with at the time, you know, we recorded it before Matt ever released it. And then it kind of became like, oh, well, he wants to release, they're going to take it to radio. And we're like, okay, well, I guess that'll help our career if that happens. So we'll do it. And it was a sore spot for us until it just came out. You know what I mean? Whereas like that song was our song that we believed was a better representation of us than anything ever. And so now to finally be able to have it out, it's like, you know, you kick yourself. You're like, why didn't we do that in the first place? But, you know, circumstances were different. And to finally have that out, it's just like, it just feels like, thank goodness it finally happened. And when I wrote that, I came up with that idea, and it was weirdly like a Zoom write because it was COVID. And we just like, and then kind of articulated this to the writers, just wanted to write a song that was about the dudes I grew up with. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that, you know, apparently you don't need to be from a small town. You can be from a city and still you'll have those people weirdly who fill the spaces in that song. And the shocking thing about that song to me is how relatable it has been for so many more people than I thought it even could be. And it's just a testament to like, write what is true to you, you know, and honest to you, and you will be shocked at how many people have gone through the same thing or experienced the same thing. And that song is a prime testament to that. Like, I didn't write that song for anybody other than me, and it seems to have related to more people than anything else. And that's kind of where it came from, just like being honest and like being like literally sitting in the right and being like, oh, what happened? Did you have a buddy who did this, or what about that? And like just trying to nail those people down. You know what I mean? Trying to like be like, oh yeah, that's Jake, that's Tim, that's Frank. You know what I mean? Like nailing those people down and putting them in the song. So pretty crazy how it can turn into something like this.
And also hindsight is 2020. Like, was the band at a place when you were going to release it the first time? Like, you wouldn't have gotten this shot at it right now. So like things work out for a reason.
That's exactly it. Like, who knows? We released it then, and maybe it would have like something would have happened where we like switched label or management or something like that, and then the song is released and buried, and it didn't get the proper shot it did. Where now we're in such an awesome place. It's like feels like the right time to do it, and it feels like the right title for an album and everything. So
exactly.
Well, that sounds like a great place for us to leave it. Thank you so much, James Barker, for coming to join us today. I was going to say James Barker Band, but it's just you here.
James Barker Band. And congrats on the CCMA noms. Hopefully this is a great week for everybody. And yeah, we'll see you this week sometime.
We'll see you soon. I will bring less jackets if it's going to be hot. So
I'm packing everything because it's supposed to be cold at night too. So
if the weather changes, it's not my fault, everybody.
Typical fall in Canada. It's hot and it's cold. So we got to bring shorts and bring tearaways so you can do both.
Tearaways.
I won't. But
red
okay,
carpet?
Thank you for the advice.
Red carpet pants? I don't know.
Red carpet shorts?
Bring them back. The Adidas.
Bring them back.
All right. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of On the Porch with Front Porch Music. We're so lucky to be able to chat with artists and make episodes like this one. If you like the podcast, remember to rate and review us, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It's the easiest way to support the show. Remember to check out frontporchmusic.ca to keep up with new music releases, exclusive artist interviews, and more. We'll catch you again on the porch in a couple of weeks. On the Porch is hosted by Logan Miller and Jenna Weiser, and produced and edited by Jason Saunders. That's me. Our theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.